Hello everyone and welcome back to Sonic X Shadow Generations with Chaos Counseling. I got, hey Muffin, I got sick really badly yesterday that I got sent home from work. And I've just basically been vegetating in my own misery. I'm only feeling marginally better today. So, but it was enough that it's like, I'm tired of lying around not being productive, so let's do a stream, you know? Especially since I do want to actually possibly beat this game today. Because if I do, well, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm not enjoying the game, but I can then start the game that is currently winning the poll, which, by the way, if you guys still haven't voted, that poll's for sure going to be going on at least until the end of this stream. Again, depending on how far I get today. Although hopefully, maybe I can get far enough today that even if I have to do some of this tomorrow, I could start the next stream. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is, oh yeah, I started watching the last stream, but didn't finish it. I do actually like Squid Shadow. I think it's a little weird, but I am enjoying it. By the way, if you haven't voted, please go and vote, because as of right now, the game that is currently winning is the game I actually don't really want to play that much. Because out of all the games on the list, it's a game I actually... Well, anyway. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not super keen on playing Dead or Alive Extreme, but that game is more of a meme than anything else, and it could be quickly... It'd be just like an hour-long stream at most. Okay, is this... Hold on, is this a Sonic Frontiers inspired level? Because that's what I'm getting from these robots. Again, due to the fact that Shadow's been in a lot of games now, but he's really only had a starring role in one, if, like, you know, Sonic Adventure 2, and he's had, like, group appearances in, like, you know, Sonic Heroes and Sonic 06, but, hold on, let's see, oh, hello, Sonic Frontiers. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, Muffin, you too have noticed this is Sonic Frontiers. You know, I get it from a meta standpoint. It's like Sonic Frontiers was the last game released before this one. And it's like, well, once again, Shadow may not have been in the game, so let's give him something to do in the... I digress. I did see a post online joking about, okay, now that we've had this, can we get a Silver X, or a Sonic X Silver Generations? Heck, I wouldn't mind a game where you, like, a game where you just played as Knuckles, or... I know I probably like him more than most. I wouldn't mind a game where you just played as Espio, because I've always had a soft spot for Espio ever since I first encountered him in Sonic Heroes, because Sonic Heroes was, I think, the second 3D Sonic game I ever played. Because I didn't play Sonic Adventure 1 or Sonic Adventure XD, which is the version I got to play, until after I'd played Sonic Heroes. Well, actually, to be fair, kind of going back to the poll I have going on right now, it's like, let's see, Sonic X Shadow, X Silver Generations, rip to those who searched up Sonic X Shadow, forgot to put the generations. For real. But of the current poll going on, the current game that's winning is Knights of Azure 2, and it's actually winning by quite a bit. I believe the games that are currently in second are X-Blades, which admittedly is a game I do really want to stream. Not because I think it's any good. I've never played it before. Well, okay. But because it's a game that I turned on I just, like, I plugged it in just because I wanted to make sure it worked on my Xbox, and the opening narration from the main character was so abysmally awful that I was laughing so hard that I'm like, I have to live stream my reaction to this piece of shit. So I do want to stream that right. Shoot, how do I... It's been a while. There we go. The Chaos Spears. Now I remember. Okay. But it's such an awful piece of trash. I am looking forward to streaming it just for that, you know? Oops. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to remember how all of Shadow's abilities actually work. Oh, crap. Crap, and I don't remember the... I deserve that. And I don't remember the other game that's currently, winning, that's currently tied for second in the poll besides X-Blades. I'd have to go look at the poll again. Once I beat this level, I might go look again.
All right.
You know, I can safely say that these Shadow segments are so far the only Sonic Boost era games that I've actually enjoyed so far. Again, not that I've... Well, okay, that's a lie. Well, I don't know. Does Sonic Frontiers count in the Boost era? Because I know it has the Boost mechanics, but it's the first open-world Sonic game, so it's kind of in its... Is it technically its own distinct thing, not part of the Boost era? I don't know. I'm not a big enough fan of the Sonic games, as I've kind of come to realize, for me to really view myself as much as an authority on Sonic and its eras, you know? Because for me, Sonic was, oh hey, that game that my friend has that I played with him / that TV show I watched. And then, oh hey, I remember Sonic. So let me get this new Sonic Adventure 2 game for the GameCube. And then, like I said, well, I was aware of new Sonic. Oh yeah, okay, I did try Sonic and the Black Knight and Sonic and the Sacred Rings and the Wii version of Unleashed. But like I've said in the past streams, I didn't touch a new Sonic game until Forces came out. Because...
Chaos control.
Oops. Let's see. Squid Shadow swinging around the speed of sound. Got places to go. Follow my colorless rainbow. Can't stick around. Gotta keep shooting people. Cause what lies ahead, only my edge will find out. Must keep on blowing everything up ahead. No times for guessing. Follow my pain instead. Just see. Just weeping over losing Maria. Take my lead and I'll cry so much. Yeah, Squid Shadow would like to formally submit their auditions to the Stellar Blade. That's the other game that's tied for second place. Actually, that's a lie. I have played Stellar Blade. I actually really like Stellar Blade. Like, probably more than I should, because I know it's technically, but I think the Sonic Frontiers does count as its own thing. It's an open world Sonic game. Yeah, that's kind of what that's kind of where I was at too, is that it really should, it should be kind of considered the start of a new era. But yeah, okay, so that's a lie. Out of all the fan service games I've got on the list, I have played Stellar Blade all the way through. And I have looked up, so I was looking up some other games, because I only have so many of these fan service games to play, so eventually I'm going to run out, which is not a bad thing. But I'm like, I kind of looked up, what are some other ones that are considered good but are known for fan service? And one that I found was technically Near Automata, which I'm like, oh, that makes sense, because it crossed over with Stellar Blade. But I'm like, that might be one. I know that game is long as hell. But one that people recommended was actually the Shantae series. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've been wanting to get back to the Shantae series because I legitimately love the Shantae series. Hell, I just pre-ordered the limited release of the canceled Shantae game that was never released for the Game Boy Advance. Like, honestly, the only reason I didn't get the limited release of all the other physical copies of the other Shantae games is I was actually not aware those existed. But you would better believe that had I been aware of them existing, I would own the physical copies of Seven Sirens, Pirate's Curse, and Risky's Revenge on the Switch. I'd probably also own the original, even though I love Shantae, but I can't stand her original game. Like, honestly, if you think you might be into Metroidvania games, but you think they're too hard for you, Shantae is a wonderful middle ground, because it is a lot easier than other Metroidvania games. And I am still kind of bitter that Shantae did not get into Smash Brothers. Nope. That's it. I would think... Oh, I've already read that one. But yeah. Shantae is like one of two characters that... I mean, I imagine we've all, or everyone who grew up playing Smash Bros. Has their own, like, wish list of Smash Bros. Characters they wanted to see, or characters they wanted to see in Smash Bros. Shantae is easily at the top of my list. By the way, today I finished Avatar: The Last Airbender. Such a great show. Such a great show. No, there is a reason why it is still considered one of the best pieces of media for... Well, yeah, it's for kids, sure, but like lots of great media... It can be enjoyed by people of all ages, you know? And that's because it doesn't talk down to kids. You see, that's part of the reason why, like, one of my favorite shows, or like my two favorite shows, are Beast Wars and Digimon Tamers, because they're kid shows that do not talk down to its audience. I mean, don't get me wrong, the English dub of Digimon Tamers is not as good as the Japanese version. And don't get me wrong, Beast Wars does get pretty hokey at times. So I can't recommend that one as much unless you're a diehard Transformers fan. And they don't come anywhere near as close to the quality of Avatar. Like, I personally hold them in just as high regards, but that's because of nostalgia. But let's not kid ourselves here. They're good, but they're not Avatar good. You know, and honestly... When The Legend of Korra first came out, I did watch it. I actually watched it as it was being released, but I watched it on, you know, on Nickelodeon's website rather than online, because I didn't have cable at the time. But I just couldn't get as into it, not because I thought it wasn't as good, not because I didn't like Korra. Like, no, Korra was a little more frustrating than Aang, but she was her own character, which is good. But it wasn't Avatar. Avatar really was just such a unique cinnamon roll that nothing could really compare to it. And I'm not saying that to be purely derogatory. It's true.
I found you, Shadow.
The blue hedgehog.
Shadow, what are you doing?
You have something I need.
You can wait until my business is finished.
Yeah, sorry, but that Chaos Emerald and I have a date with a monster.
Well then, it'll be a date to die for.
This is so painful. This is so forced. But I also kind of love it how... Oh, yeah, they had to do this. They had to. I hate them for it, but I love them for it. But I hate them for it, but I still love them for it. Am I in a toxic relationship with that conversation? I think I'm in a toxic relationship with that conversation. Oh, that's right. Shadow didn't have his chaos abilities when they did this duel. Oh.
Nice hustle, but I won this one. So I'm taking the emerald. See ya!
What a dick. Oh, hey, Rouge. Oh, Rouge, she makes me feel things.
And what do I see? Sonic defeating you. What happened?
I will beat him on equal terms, or not at all.
A fine time for you to be honorable. Now he has the Chaos Emerald.
No, he has a fake emerald. I'll have you swap it for the real thing after I'm finished with my mission.
Wow, look at you. As a professional jewel thief, I approve.
As someone who has problems, as someone who has real problems, Rouge, I approve of that outfit. Don't judge me. Okay. Tell me more. How do I... Huh. Yeah, I figured you... I mean, you love bringing up the thing, Muffin, so I'd be shocked if you weren't judging me in this situation. And again, then again, Abby loves you for that one, so... Oh, well, I understand the need to constantly have Abby's approval, so... You know what? I'm going to give you a free pass today, Muffin, but I'm still going to judge you. But I'm still going to complain next time you do it. Okay. I'm actually having a ball with this Squid Shadow, I'm not going to lie. Oh, is this what I think it is? I think, judging Rouge has a nice personality. She does have a nice personality. Okay. But yeah, is this what I think it is? I really hope this is what I think it is. Oh hey, it's the gun mechs powered by the Chaos drives. It's always nice to see those, mostly because those are very much a Sonic Adventure 2 thing. And as we've already established, I am a sucker for literally anything that's even remotely Sonic Adventure 2. Squid Hedgehog, Squid Hedgehog does whatever a Squid Hedgehog can. Up there. Oh, maybe it is, maybe it's not. Yeah, well, we are going to find out. Or my name's not Charles Bartholomew Gilgamesh Schmidt Anderson Lee and Jess Lee the 27th, which it's not. All right, what do you got for me? Use the power of the Chaos Control to reach the goal.
All right. No!
Well, that already ended badly.
Ultimate power.
Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Something interesting that's not only boss lock, but is 4 locks. Yeah, I do actually remember that, is that people were pointing out that it's interesting that, you know, this is the only person in the entire game that the time eater felt so inclined to put behind 4 locks instead of 3. To really just emphasize just how dangerous Mephiles actually is, you know? And again, I'm speaking as someone who doesn't actually care that much for Mephiles. Not that I hate Mephiles, I really do not have very nice things to say about Sonic 06 in general. But the fact that he came back in any way, shape, or form does give me hope for the possibility of Infinite returning, you know? Plus, having, you know, seeming to have the Time Eater seemingly making that, you know, conscious decision to lock up Mephiles behind, you know, lock and key or whatever, does a lot to kind of further that, you know, that one theory that may have been confirmed by the creator of this game, that the Time Eater was supposed to actually be Mephiles in the, or at least a part of Mephiles in the original pitch for the game. So, yeah, it's cool. I also don't hate... I will admit, I'm not hating these challenge stages as much as I did initially. I still don't love them. But it's not as big of a pain in the ass as I was afraid it was going to be, you know? That was weird. Help. Help. I don't even fully know what happened there. Also, I have a Valentine. How's it going? Let's see. I didn't expect you to stream today. Today is lovely to come home after a snack run. Yeah, I don't sound it as much as I normally do, but I got horrifically sick. Like, again, it's weird. Son of a bitch. I don't remember early theory. I do remember early Frontiers was announced that Sage was like Infinite's daughter. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that's not the case, because I feel Sage is a character that really adds good layers to Robotnik's character, you know? So I'm glad she's Robotnik's daughter, not Infinite's. But I got horribly sick. Like, I had to be sent home from work yesterday with just how bad I was getting. And again, it's weird because when I woke up this morning, I thought, okay, I'm good enough to go to work. But the second I stood up, it's just, I have no energy anymore. So yeah, it's odd. So yeah, I got sent home from work today and I wasn't able to go to work or sent home from work yesterday and couldn't go to work today. So yeah, all I can do is just sit on my butt and just vegetate. So I'm like, I'm tired of not being productive, so we're gonna stream. I had thought about streaming yesterday after I got home, but I'm like, I am just a little too wiped out for that. So I didn't end up doing that. But yeah, again, just for me at least, Sage is definitely one of my favorite new additions to the Sonic franchise. Just because, hey, it's always nice to have anything that makes a character who was arguably one-dimensional, or at least somewhat one-dimensional, get more layers to him, you know? so weird. I was horribly sick for the past 2 days, and now you're sick. Yeah, my foreman, like, I caught it from my foreman. I know that much because he came to work on Monday, but had to leave early because he was also sick. So, and I definitely caught what he has. Like, symptoms are basically identical. Oh, that was fun. But yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but it's also kind of funny. And again, it's funny for me, just because this is such an unusual sickness for me. Because normally, thanks, I appreciate it, Muffin. Normally when I'm sick, it's like, I feel it all the time in my head, my throat, my chest, whenever. But, like, honestly, other than the fact that my head's cloudy right now, just sitting and... Oops. Just right now, just sitting and playing... Pray to Apollo for your recovery, but don't push yourself. Humans are not machines. Our existence isn't built now for real. Oh. But yeah, it's... Shoot, where was I? Shoot, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I am kind of hoping I can finish this game today, so tomorrow morning I can start my stream, which again, I know I've already said this before, but since some more people are now on the stream, if you guys haven't voted on my current poll, it will be up at least through the end of the day. Because, yeah, yeah. Or at the very least until the end of this stream. So yeah. Because I freely admit I'm not 100% excited about playing the game that's already winning, but at the same time, that might be funny making me play that, but I digress. Wow, I've managed to get S ranks on all of the last couple challenges I've done. Oh, by the way, Val, I didn't really get it since I unfortunately forgot to message you properly when I was doing the Time Stranger demo. But you might find this interesting, but the upcoming Digimon story game, it's going to be putting a very large emphasis on the Digimon that are based on the Roman the Roman gods. So like there's going to be Jupitermon, Junomon, Apollomon, Dianamon, etc. Like they've been around for a while, but outside Dianamon, Minervamon, and Neptunemon, they haven't really had that much focus on them. So yeah, this is the first time I think in about a decade that the Digimon games have focused on those characters. Because yeah, the little red lion Digimon that I met in the very end of the demo, he eventually becomes Apollomon. Again, I think Apollomon was invented for the DS. That's it. I wasn't aware they had Digimon gods and a Roman pantheon. Yeah, so there have been, like from the get-go, like all the way back in the second season of Digimon, there was Azulongmon, Chuchaomon, Biyomon, I forget, and let's see, I'm all for making you play something you don't like. For funnies, feel they don't like to play something you genuinely like it more. For here, that's fair. And I forget his name, the turtle Digimon, but they were based on the 4 sacred beasts from, I don't remember if it's Chinese, Japanese, or a different. Basically, the 4 guardian beasts based on, you know, the dragon, the turtle, the tiger, so on and so forth. Then, starting in the 3rd season, that's when they introduced the concept of the Royal Knights and the 7 Demon Lords. And yeah, the Royal Knights aren't based on gods per se, but they've always been tied to King Yggdrasil, which is based Chinese mythology. Thank you. But they're based on they serve King Yggdrasil, which, you know, is based on Norse mythology. Then apparently this is a more recent edition. They've now added Digimon that are based on at the end of Digimon Tamers, not Tamers, Frontier, which was the 4th season of Digimon, they introduced Susanumon, and they have since added like Amaterasumon, and other Digimon based on that mythology. And then, like I said, the Digimon, I don't know definitively when the Roman Digimon were created. I've been aware of some of them for a while, because like, as someone who's always liked Hades, I immediately took an interest in Plutomon when I first heard about that one. Not the biggest fan of Plutomon's design, but that was fun. But still, its existence did intrigue me when I first heard of it. And then from there, like, I hadn't even heard of Jupitermon or Junomon until this game was announced. Minervamon, she's been in actually a lot of the Digimon games that I've played. So is Dianamon. And same with Neptunemon. In fact, before I forget, there's an online study that suggests men have worse symptoms with illnesses like coughs and flu and stuff. Really? I didn't know that. Huh. Okay. I believe it's time for the whole reason I tortured myself trying to beat Sonic 06. Yep, here we go.
What is this? A seal of some sort?
Okay, let's see if actually beating Sonic 06 was worth it for this. You know, again, imagine if I hadn't had this spoiled for me, imagine what the people playing this for the first time who didn't have the internet ruin this twist must have acted, you know? But it makes sense why Mephiles would be here, because after the Bio Lizard, he and Infinite are the ones that have the strongest ties to Shadow himself. Let's see. So far, the data is leaning that testosterone is caused because trans men are affected by this problem too. That's interesting.
And restore myself to the timeline.
Again, nothing against Dan Green, but I really do prefer this voice for Mephiles. Again, Dan Green was the voice of my childhood because he was in Yu-Gi-Oh! He voiced several characters from Pokemon. I love Dan Green. I did not like him as Mephiles. I didn't know who Mephiles is, and is he that? Yeah, Mephiles is the main antagonist from Sonic 06. In fact, the plot of Sonic 06 basically revolved around having to erase him from all of time and space just to defeat him, because he and his like complete form Solaris were just so powerful that he couldn't be beaten conventionally. Mephiles is like one half of Solaris. Yeah, Mephiles is one half of Solaris. The other half is Solaris. So Mephiles is Solaris's power of time, and he's also his guile. Iblis is Solaris's raw power, and has the primary control of the Flame of Destruction, or I mean, it was like originally like the Flame of Life or something. Oh my god, the fighting is so clean. I'm amazed by how well designed this is. No, for real. I don't know what's happening. Again, as someone who vehemently hates Sonic 06 and thinks that Mephiles is kind of lame, I am still happy to see him here, and I am actually enjoying the fuck out of this fight. Like, see, Sonic 06 is also the one with the human kiss Sonic for some reason. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. again, as someone who's not bothered by that, I just don't like Elise as a character. Like, again, I'm not bothered by the idea of Sonic having a human love interest, because he had one in one of the older comics, which, if it was one of the Ken Penders comics, we also don't talk about that. But it's just, Elise is just not a well-written character, you know? Oh, wait, I think I understand now. Okay, I understand now. Maybe. Okay. This is fun, this is fun, this is fun! I'm having fun, I am having fun, I am woo, look at that thing! This is awesome! What? Oh, that's not good. See, I don't have an issue with the kiss between the Anthro thing and the human as a certified monster fucker, but I do hate that Sonic is 16 and is far from aware of Elise is an adult. Yes. Well, no, I think Elise is also a teenager. Do not quote me on that. But I do think Elise is also a teenager, but... You know what? I am pausing the game right now because I need to look this up. Okay, Elise is 17 years old. So she's 1 year older than Sonic.
Chaos control. All right. Freeing this. Yeah. Yeah.
Still seems like an adult. I agree. Yeah, no, it's I agree. No, I do agree with you on that, Val.
There is no future for you. Ever.
That is brutal, Shadow. Okay. I can't say with dealing with some of Silver's levels were absolutely not worth dealing with that bullshit, but that boss fight was kind of amazing. There's no way too many people who forget Sonic's 16 every version. Shadow is an adult. On Nephilis, you don't get to exist. Not at all. Okay, again, I'm not gonna lie. Between that and I'll finish in a second.
Don't be frightened. The promised time is nigh upon us, Shadow. Soon you will be mine.
Shadow will never serve you. He's nothing like you.
Gerald may have given him this unassuming form, but the blood of the Black Arms flows in his veins.
Your voice is stupid.
Yes. The warrior that will destroy.
Actually, it'd be kind of funny if they got Keanu Reeves to voice Black Doom in this game.
I have learned from our last encounter. There will be no mistakes this time. Struggle all you want.
I don't know if this voice is stupid. I can barely... No, I can barely hear it, too.
Professor, what do you think he means he learned from our last encounter?
Probably just that he learned from the last time you fought.
At some point in the future, he has grown a new body and used the nebulous nature of time in white space to accelerate his plans for revenge.
Oh, no.
Right. No more mistakes. This time, I will crush every last one of them.
Shadow, you're giving into the dark side. You're doing exactly what Lord Sidious wants. I mean, Black Doom wants.
Full of
When is this going to be a Life is Strange issue where you have to let her die to fix the timelines? Yeah, pretty much.
But a shadow will show you where to find the light. Do you understand? I don't want you to be driven by darkness.
Right, Shadow is
I
pretending
want
he
you to
is
be
the Shadow
happy.
from their time. Right.
Stand in the light with peace in your heart.
Right, I forgot he was... I forgot that they didn't know that Shadow's actually from their future. Mostly because I've only had one cutscene with them so far, and it kind of goes quick. Okay. So I don't remember what I was saying before I paused for the cutscene, so I apologize right now that I am not going to actually finish that thought like I said I would. Oh yeah, but between Metal Overlord and that, those are some of the most enjoyable boss fights I have ever done in a Sonic game. Which isn't saying much because I haven't played that much Sonic in the grand scheme of things. Let's see. I don't really need this for Shadow to have an actual story he cares about, but this seems really cruel to do it to him. Yeah. Yeah, no. And again, I do think it's interesting, like I've been saying this whole stream, that it is interesting that rather than giving Shadow a brand new game, it's just an it's just a spin-off of a game that's like 15 years old, or it was 13 years old at the time this game was released. But like I said, Shadow wasn't really present in the original Sonic generation, so it does make sense that they'd give him also stuff to do. Also, it's boring. Can we get a Shadow story of him moving on from the past and making a better future for himself? Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, part of the reason why movie Shadow was such an improvement, in my humble opinion, to Shadow as a whole is because it felt like in the finale he was fully committing to moving forward, you know? Because a character who's constantly obsessed with the past is just a broody edgelord that's just not fun to deal with. Which I think is also part of the reason why I've been kind of failing to play edgelord in character, because edgelord is supposed to be an inversion of cliched edgelord, so edgelord is not obsessed with the past. As much, anyway. I don't know. I need to stop sucking my own dick about how awesome a character edgelord is, because they're really not. Let's see, you had a perfect start. He's close to Rouge, let the development into their own team to care about. I agree. Okay.
Unleash the power. I feel complete.
Okay, but where am I actually going? What do you think of Shadow so far in this game, like writing-wise, Muffin? I don't hate it, but I don't hate it, but sorry, I'll finish after this.
It's time.
I'm sorry I put you on this path, Shadow. But I'm proud of how you have walked it. I believe in you, son.
Oh,
Shadow!
It's all right, Maria.
I guess
I'm
mostly.
letting go of that destructive anger. But I will continue to fight.
I think this is probably the best written he's been since Sonic Adventure 2. But I don't think he was written that well in Sonic Adventure 2, so I guess kind of going off what Val said.
Fight.
I think it's one of those, like, if you look at it just in a bubble, just in this game, it's written really great. But the problem is that this game was released over 20 years after Shadow was introduced. We should have gotten this sooner. So Shadow could have moved forward as a character before this point, you know? Because, again, the problem is just because we're only getting this now, 20 years on, it kind of feels like Shadow has just stayed still for the last 2 decades, if that makes sense. Like I said, I don't hate it in a bubble, but it isn't in a bubble. This is a character who's been around for, like I said, nearly 20 years. And he really should have had more tangible character growth in that time than what he's gotten, because again, I know I joke facetiously that Shadow is just an uninteresting edgelord, but I only am partially joking. I really do feel Shadow is just a pretty bland edgelord. Now, admittedly, that is partially due to the fact that... How do I put this? So, for those who are unaware, Shadow does die in the end of Sonic Adventure 2. The reason they did that is because it was believed at the time that Sonic Adventure 2 was going to be the very last Sonic game ever. So they were like, okay, is there an ability I'm forgetting, like, where I can launch myself, like, straight in the air after going squid? Because I keep seeing, like, these things above the squid points that I just don't seem to be able to interact with, and I just don't remember if I'm forgetting something, you know? Let's see. I know what you mean, but we can't change the past now. I try to make a good future. Again, you're right. So again, I guess what I should say is I'm grateful we're getting this at all, but it should have come much sooner in the character's development. Uh-oh. Well, fuck me. I'll have to gather rings and try that again. But yeah, I think it's good. Again, now just what I'm hoping, because again, but yeah, they thought that Sonic Adventure 2 was going to be the final Sonic game, so they decided to kill Shadow at the end of Sonic Adventure 2. That was a decision they would regret making because the series wasn't canceled. Now, while they did bring him back in the immediate game afterwards, Sonic Heroes, I think it was a Did You Know Gaming or something that I saw. The original plan wasn't to bring Shadow back. There actually was plans that the teams in Sonic Heroes weren't going to include Team Dark. It was going to include some other characters. But they then decided, no, let's bring Shadow back. So it's like, okay, how do we do that? He died. So what they did initially was when they brought him back, he had amnesia. Meaning, he's now not the character from the last game. He's now just a blank slate. And it kind of has the whole J.J. Abrams style of writing of mystery box, and we'll figure it out later, if you know what I mean. And that's never a good idea. Hey guys, how's it going? I got some more screws for you. Do super agree with that. In a perfect world, this would have happened more naturally, and the games would have been developed naturally and not have bad stories. Yeah. Plus, again, let's also be real. After the failure of Sonic 06, which didn't do a lot to develop his character either, other than having him work for the government, which is technically development. The Sonic games got away from using the side characters as much, so that also stunted Shadow's growth. Because let's be real, outside of, you know, party games or games like Sonic Forces that just have a large cast for the sake of having a large cast, Shadow hasn't been given a whole lot to do in the franchise since Sonic 06. Him working for the government makes sense because Rouge does. Oh, I agree. And it's also good character development because initially he distrusted the government because of what happened in the gun raid that killed Maria. So again, it is actually some good character growth because he's forgiven. He's like, hey, you people are not the government douchebags who killed my family. Those people are long dead. But yeah. It's also his way of, you know, trying to do some good in the world. Okay, now, how do I actually get back up there? Okay, I feel like I've got enough rings to give myself a pretty good shot. I just feel like I need to find where Maria and Gerald were, because that's, I feel like, the starting point for getting up there. I just don't remember where they are. Because again, let's see, that's where Big is. Right, map. Okay, yeah, Maria and Gerald are over this way, I think. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Let's try this again. Wait. Did I miss? Wait, where is the... Shit. I could have sworn that's where I needed to kick off from, but was I wrong? I can't disable this mode. I'm stuck. Shit. Do you talk to me and Gerald much outside of the cutscenes? I didn't know. All right, here we go. Oh. Hi. I mean, it makes total sense why this would be here. This is the shadow level that I played the most in Sonic Adventure 2. So this makes me very happy, to say the very least. Although it is very different than how it was in that game. I don't even know what I did. I'm going Super Saiyan! Is this how you do Nostalgic Right? This is how you do Nostalgic Right. This is my favorite shadow level too. Yeah, because again, it is clearly Radical Highway, but the fact that it's still different, you know? Uh-oh. No. Mistakes were made. Means that it's still very much its own experience, you know? You know, there were not enough levels where you played as Shadow in Sonic Adventure 2. Like, I think proportionately he had the least number of levels out of every character in the game, which was a shame. I get the ideas, like he's the new anti-Sonic or whatever, so they wanted to limit his exposure. But at the same time, he needed more levels. Yeah, it's also funny, I know I said I was going to get the Terios the Hedgehog DLC and use it a little bit, or at least the Terios skin, and use it for this stream, but I don't know. I do stand by that Terios' design isn't as good as Shadow's, which is the reason why I ultimately didn't end up buying it for this. Plus, I don't really know how much I'm going to play this game after I'm done streaming it, you know, just because playing Sonic, I just don't really like playing the Sonic games as much as I once did, you know. Oh, yeah, shit. Even though I probably should get more out of this game since I freaking bought it. Oops. You trick. I've been tricked.
Out of my way.
Again, I do like that mechanic of Shadow kicking an enemy away and then rocketing after them. You know, I like that this is... Yeah, what just happened? Oh, no. Oh, no! The game glitched.
No!
Oh, no! But are you going to do the DLC with the movie Shadow level? It depends if it costs... I don't know. It depends if I have it. Because I've had so many medical bills lately. I don't have a ton of extra. That's another reason I decided not to get the Terios stuff, was because my funds are a little tight at the moment. Because, yeah, I just had so many medical things come up all at once. Let's see. So you bounced off 3 different hit boxes, like 2 different frames, I think, to bug the game. Yeah, I think you're right. But, I think this is very much kind of... Yeah, it's Radical Highway, but, like, with, like, the upside-down grinding, I think it's taking inspiration from... Sorry, I don't remember what Shadow's final level was called, if it was the final rush or the last hazard or what. Like, I don't remember what his... Okay, I can't jump over them. Got it. Yeah, I don't remember, like, his level's name versus Sonic's level's name. Okay, maybe I can jump over them. I don't know. I just feel like every time I did jump over them, I just died. Oh, I can't boost. That's annoying. Okay. Okay, fine, be that way. Fine, be that way. Okay, I deserve that. After this game is finished, I get to show you a really funny Sonic dub of Shadow compilation and questioning. As always, Radical. Oh, I've actually seen that one. That one's pretty funny. Oh dear, mistakes were made. Because, yeah, I've been watching that YouTuber quite a bit. But let's be real, the reason why Radical Highway always comes up whenever there's meant to be Shadow nostalgia, because, let's be real, there's not a ton of Shadow nostalgia that's looked back super favorably, because Shadow was in Sonic Heroes, which was not well received when it first came out. Then Shadow was in Sonic 06, which was... Oh boy, no one had anything nice to say about that. Then there was Shadow's game, which has built, to my understanding, has built more of a following over the last couple decades, but was initially not well liked at all. So, Radical Highway is arguably peak Shadow. So, I get why. That, yeah, so there's a good reason why Radical Highway is in everything. Oops. Well, that did not go well for me.
Unleash the power!
Unleash the beast! I think I'll try defying gravity. Say, tell me goodbye, I'm defying gravity, and you can't hold me down. I've gone beyond the bounds of reality. So I think the Edgelord Shadow from his own game is my favorite version because it's so ridiculous and Rouge every time Shadow takes the piss in these two together. That works perfectly. I believe you. I didn't play... I never owned the Shadow game. I rented it once and just found it kind of dull. So... I don't know enough about how he actually acts in that game, so I'm afraid I can't comment, but that does sound like a good dynamic of Rouge taking the piss out of... Right. Chaos Spear. Chaos Spear first.
Out of my way.
So, as a kid, when Sonic Adventure 2 first came out, and my asshole of a best friend at the time was like obsessed with Shadow because it's like Sonic, but he's cooler because he's got rocket shoes and whatnot. Well, he was obsessed with anytime, it's like Shadow's like, disappear! That's such a cool attack name. I'm like, it's not, the attack is not called disappear, it's called Chaos Spear. He's like, no, he says disappear. Like, don't get me wrong. The game is dull, but the writing is so cheesy. And when I'm 14, this is deep shit. That makes it great. Oh, for real. Hold on. Okay, good. Right. It's just there's no music on the pause screen for a second. I thought, crap, did the music flip out? Did the music stop working again? But yeah, totally. I mean, let's be real. We're a lot more willing to put up with more... We're way more willing to put up with bad writing and cheesy writing or whatnot when we're kids, because we don't know any better. Because it's like, oh my gosh, it's the first time I've ever experienced something like this. Or like, heck... a game I still kind of want to stream for the channel is the Lost Kingdom games for the GameCube. Those were some of the very first games I've ever, at least the second one, was like one of the very first games I ever played that had almost full voice acting. So I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever! This is the future! And I thought it sounded so cool, but the voice acting is like edgy characters if you want, but if you don't acknowledge and accept the cringe, brah, you're yeah, no, you're absolutely correct about that. But looking back on it, the voice acting was pretty bad. I mean, it's better than some voice acting that I've seen from the early 2000s, but it's not good. Heck, another one that was similar is Mega Man X Command Mission, which is another game I do want to stream eventually, because it's a fun little novelty in the Mega Man franchise that it's like, it's Mega Man, but it's an RPG. And it was fun. It wasn't great. Like, don't get me wrong. I remember for Christmas, I got two... Let's see, the thing is I try to really hard to be edgy. It really makes me cringe. Would rather something be unintentionally edgy than... Yeah, no, I agree. But, like, for Christmas one year, I got Mega Man X Command Mission and Lord of the Rings The Third Age. And while I can't say either of them are truly stellar RPGs by any stretch of the imagination, Lord of the Rings The Third Age was by far the superior game and had the superior story and even the superior acting. But I didn't care, because I was more aware of the existence of... I knew about Mega Man's existence longer than I knew about Lord of the Rings, because I found out about Lord of the Rings when I was a little older, whereas Mega Man 5 was one of the very first games I ever played when I was really little. So, you can imagine which one I hyped up more. I have a question. Have you ever played a Lego game? Yes. Let's see. I would love to watch you play Mega Man. It's another series I don't know, and I have the most fun learning about these games from you. So, I don't ever plan to play a single classic Mega Man game except for Mega Man 5. because Mega Man 5 is one of 2 games that may have been the first video game I ever played. Mostly because I find the classic Mega Man games too goddamn frustrating to enjoy. And yes, I have played the Lego games. Abby and I actually bought a ton of them because we were originally going to play a lot of them on the channel, but we got a lot of them for the PlayStation 3. And at the time, I mean, we can't even stream off the PlayStation 3 anymore for hardware reasons, but the picture quality wasn't great. Plus, with how rarely Abby and I have time to play games together, we just had other games we wanted to do more, and it just was constantly being pushed farther and farther on the back burner, you know? It's definitely not one that I am writing off entirely, because I still wouldn't mind doing like one of the Lego Star Wars games for the channel, because though, like the first 2 Lego Star Wars games, and then the like complete edition for like the Wii, Xbox, PlayStation, so on and so forth. Those games were my jam as a kid. I have played Lego Jurassic World. It's all right. I never played Lego Indiana Jones. I played some of the Lego DC games, but didn't like them as much, even though I didn't hate them. But yeah, when it comes to Mega Man, I 100% plan on streaming, because I have the Mega Man X Legacy Collection. I have the Mega Man Zero Legacy Collection, which Mega Man Zero is my favorite Mega Man series ever. Honestly, I just love the Mega Man Zero series in general. I just think it's really good. And then I have the Battle Network series on a Legacy Collection too. But I have to admit, I did not like the Battle Network games that much. I found them to be incredibly dull, even though they definitely have some of the richest story. But yes, I do. Once I'm kind of done with my schedule, and maybe once I'm done with once I'm done definitively with the Dragon Age games, I've only got 2 more to get through, I might throw Mega Man back on my streaming list, because it's been on and off my streaming list for a while. Again, at least specifically Mega Man. Okay, I'm thinking what I need to do is I need to stream Mega Man 5, because again, that's the one classic Mega Man game. Let's see, I remember you Elgato broke or something a long time ago and limited your game selection, I think. Yes, what happened is that, so when Abby and I first started the channel, we used a device called a Hapouge. I don't know if Hapouge are still being made or anything, but at the recommendation of the Game Grumps, because this is what, well, or let me phrase that. We switched to an Elgato at Flaze's recommendation, because Flaze watched a lot of the Game Grumps, and that's what they used. Well, the first model of Elgato we had was basically compatible with almost every gaming console ever made. Well, when that Elgato broke and we had to upgrade to the current model of Elgato, the current model of Elgato no longer had ports for AV cables, meaning games like consoles that used AV cables, like older consoles like the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and whatnot, we no longer could stream off of those. However, for some reason, like, even though the PlayStation 3 was HDMI compatible, I think there was like a anti-piracy thing built into it, where you had to, if you were going to record off of the PlayStation 3, you had to go through the AV cables, meaning that we had to go through the AV cables when using the Hapouge. But for some reason, the new Elgato, there was like an extra layer of anti-piracy in place. I don't fully understand how it works. Abby or Flaze could probably explain it better. But you couldn't use the AV cables off the Elgato. You had to use this very unique cord that plugged into the AV cables in the PlayStation 3, but then had a unique plug in the back of the Elgato itself. Again, I don't really fully get how it works. Let's see. Oh my god, the entire section is not ADHD friendly. For real. So when Abby and we eventually bought an adapter for AV cables for our current Elgato that is allowing us to stream consoles that require AV cables again. That's how I was able to stream Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2 for the GameCube, was with that adapter. And then that's how we were able to stream the Custom Robo for the 10th anniversaries through that adapter. Once again, the problem is because you have to go through that specific cable on the PlayStation 3, there isn't an adapter option available. So we just physically can no longer use the PlayStation 3 for any of our streams because there's just no way of making it compatible with our Elgato.
The time has come, Shadow.
But yeah, if I do Mega Man, I'll do Mega Man 5, then I'll go on to the X series, and then the Zero series. Because that's, like, chronological. So, for those who are curious, there are actually 2 distinct timelines when it comes to Mega Man games. And if this is something you're interested in, Val. Well, I guess you could technically say 3, but one is the anime, so it's kind of its own separate thing. So there is the original timeline of Mega Man, which starts with the original Mega Man series and ends with the Legend series, which I have none of the Legend games, so I've never played them. Oh, Black Doom became the devil. Yeah, he became the devil's, ball sack. But yeah, it starts with the original Mega Man, then ends with the Legends games. Then there's the Battle Network series that, right. Then there's the Battle Network timeline. It starts with the Battle Network games for the Game Boy Advance and ends with the Star Force games on the, oh, hold on. You don't need a Evil Doom, that's meant for Metal Band. That's good. And then it ends with the Star Force games. That, and because again, it only encompassed 2 game series, Star Force and Battle Network. So that one, it's definitely developed more because Battle Network and Star Force are RPGs rather than simple platformers, So, although I did hear that they are doing an HD remaster of the Star Force games. So I'm actually going to buy those too, mostly because, again, Mega Man is one of those interesting series that I'm very nostalgic for it, but I played very little of it as a kid. But again, because Mega Man 5 was one of the first games I ever played, it was entrenched in my childhood. Not to mention that one of my friends, fucking asshole, but he was one of my friends at the time, he had Mega Man 8, and he could never beat Mega Man 8, so we would often go over to try to help him beat Mega Man 8. So I have a lot of fond memories of playing Mega Man 8. Let's see. Oh, yeah, but don't interact much with Maria and Gerald outside of the cutscene so I can tell you about some of the dialogue. No, go for it. Go for it. I don't mind. Again, I acknowledge when I'm streaming a game, I'm not giving it as much time as I probably should because I am trying to make sure I don't waste time, and as I'm not a completionist like Abby or Flays, I admit I do miss stuff if it's not a game I'm very familiar with and want to be like, I want to make sure I show you everything, I admit it is a fault of mine, and I do apologize to everyone for that. Oh dear. I do appreciate that these boss fights do technically have checkpoints. That does make me like them much better than some platformers I've played throughout history. Hey, speaking of platformers that I want to play for the channel, I still need to play KO the Kangaroo for the Switch. Because I found out about that series thanks to Nitro Rad and bought the newest game, and I really enjoyed it. I'm happy to listen to you talk about Mega Man. It's not that I like it. I like hearing you info dump about things you love so much because it interests me because of it. Well, basically, Gerald does figure out that Shadow's from the future, so he does actually know by the end. Okay. Good to know. But yeah, Mega Man is a series that I kind of wish would get a reboot, but more in a Metroidvania style rather than the classic level select that it's known for. I know, it's kind of heresy me saying that. But the honest truth is Mega Man has such great potential for story that I think it's actually doing itself a disservice by insisting that it has to stay with its minimalistic story level by level progression, you know? Like, one of the reasons why the Mega Man Zero series is so well liked, for me at least, is it is a little bit more Metroidvania. Hey, Dispenser! It is Black Sonic. How you doing, man? Glad you could be here. I mean, granted, the Mega Man ZX series did become Metroidvania, but the map in that game was terrible, and the characters weren't as engaging, so it didn't... Oh, well, fuck you. I'm glad you could make it, too. So the ZX games didn't work as well, especially since the ZX series was a sequel to the Mega Man Zero series. And considering the Mega Man Zero series had such good storytelling... Yeah, I guess they would have to play All Hail Shadow here. Like, there's no other song you could play here other than All Hail Shadow.
I am nothing. I have surpassed.
I am, like, not picking up enough rings at all. I am a little concerned. But yeah, the problem is that the Mega Man ZX... Let's see. I love how you... Input on Mega Man's making you a lot better at this game. Well, yeah, as much as I have even though I'm very limited on my actual experience with Mega Man, it is a very important part of my childhood and my development as a gamer. Again, it's kind of part of the reason why I'm actually kind of looking forward to Bubsy 4D, because the first Bubsy game was one of two games that may have been the first game I ever played, the other one being Mega Man 5. Let's see. Also, Maria, during her dialogue, mentions she had a sister. There might be another Robotnik out there alive other than Eggman, which is very interesting for the future of the Sonic franchise and lore. Yeah, no, that is interesting. Now, if they were going to do another proper Shadow game, which, again, if someone doesn't like Shadow very much, I'm actually for a proper Shadow game, especially after this one, because, like, there is so much, and especially after the movie, there is a lot of potential, for Shadow to have his own game, I now feel. Anyway, yeah, that would be a very interesting thing to encounter Maria's sister, or, like, encounter Maria's, like, niece, or, you know, or, yeah, Maria's niece, nephew, or grandniece or nephew, you know? That would... Okay, I'm just going to say it right now. I do not like this fight as much as I like Methalist or... Damn it. Or Metal Overlord. Actually, even the first stage of this boss fight was more fun than this. I seriously do not know what I'm doing, I swear. Again, I do, as much as I don't like the song All Hail Shadow, I do appreciate its use here. Wait, are these oh, jeez, I hate inverted controls. Also just reminds me of the chaos from Sonic 1, so I'm in pain watching. Yeah, I mean, I like the boss against Chaos. Oh, wait, do you mean just the chaos like it was chaotic, or do you mean the boss fight with chaos from Sonic Adventure 1? So I admit, I do actually like that particular boss fight, but that might just be because the controls were a lot more simplistic back in... Oh, this is like a gravity well. Okay, I understand why it's fucking me up. The final chaos got it. I'm not... Oh, dear. Okay, just because I understand that it's a gravity well doesn't mean I'm going to be able to, you know, do it. Okay, I might have to redo this just because I don't know if I have enough rings to actually beat him. Shit. Oh, I am not doing well. Shit. Shit. Oh, this is so hard to control. Damn it. Oh, shoot. I was so distracted by hitting the bumpers, I didn't hit the... Shoot, I missed. Not good, not good, not good. Controls. Controls, please. Don't abandon me. Oh, I keep missing the... I'm dead. Like, I'm dead. I'm dead. Okay, now I'm gonna have to redo the entire... thing. Fuck me. Oh, jeez. This might be worse than the final fight in the regular Sonic Generations, because at least in regular Sonic Generations, I could switch over to Classic Sonic, where it was a lot easier to collect rings.
Once and for all.
Yeah, I know. Still, I think I have a better idea of how to avoid his attacks now. So I might be able to... Okay, I can't slow down during these segments. I would kill an endangered bird just to have like the static barrier. Just so like all the rings would fly towards me, you know? And no, I wouldn't actually kill an endangered bird. I like birds too much for that, but I feel it properly illustrates my pain. Uh-oh. Take that, Asgore. Oh, what do I do here? What do I do here? Apparently nothing.
Chaos control.
Chaos, your mom!
Decided we will be one.
No thanks. Shadow's not into Vor. I will read that in a second. I don't want to take my eyes off the screen in case there's a quick time event I need to do. Case in point.
I will not be stopped.
He also indirectly calls Silver an idiot in his dialogue because he dislikes people messing with timelines. He's like, you're acquainted with it. That's funny. Okay, all joking aside, I do actually like the design of Devil Doom here. And Neo Devil Doom.
Cannot deny what you are. We are one and the same.
Sonic Youth has always been amazing. I can't deny that. I've played Frontier, but I have like 5 songs from it. I haven't. Oh, I agree.
The destiny I choose.
I have both of the Nate Wants to Battle songs, One Way Dream and Lesson in Grief. I've got Find Your Flame. Yeah, no. Clingy, Obsess. Oh, he totally is.
I crafted everything up till now. And yet, you deny me.
That's kind of what edgy rebels do. They do not play by anyone else's rules.
Shadow,
Okay. That was a better final boss fight than the one in basic generations. If I had to rate all the boss fights in this game, I would say Neo Metal Overlord, best one. Like, ooh, I love that fight. Then Mephiles. Then the first phase of Black Doom. And then I'd say that both the Bio Lizard and Neo Black Devil were fine, but a bit annoying. But yeah, like, man, that Metal Overlord boss fight, mwah, chef's kiss. That was so fun to do. And the boss fight with Mephiles, ooh, that gave me chills. Well, yeah, I guess it makes sense that he would lose his chaos powers with Black Doom dead. It's definitely a beautiful boss fight and good music choices, but it seems like controls were funky. Yeah.
Nice work. Perfect timing, too. Sonic is getting ready to confront the monster that trapped us here. If I'm going to switch the emeralds without him noticing, we have to do it now.
Convenient!
Very well. I leave it to you.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
You're the best, Rouge. You make me have confusing
Aren't you
feelings.
coming? He might need your help.
I need to settle something first.
Whatever.
Yeah, Rouge was definitely one of 3 fursonas that made me question whether or not I was a furry as a kid. Or not fursonas, furry characters.
I knew you could do it.
Maria.
I'm okay. Really.
Yeah, Shadow needs to go yell at it past Luke and annoy him. You're not wrong.
Without Black Doom's influence, the time anomaly is beginning to heal. We are returning to our own point in time.
You aren't a furry. For that
Stop Rouge.
attracted to
Use
Anthor as
chaos
you're a
control.
furry.
Stop this
If you
moment
see
in
yourself
time.
as one with the fursona. Yeah, no, it's...
I don't want to be frozen in one place in time. Besides, your friends need your
You
help.
aren't a furry
you
if
don't
you
know
are
what's
attracted
going
to
to
Anthros.
happen.
You're a furry if you see yourself as one with the fursona. Got it. Okay, sorry, I misread what you said.
No, I'll see you again.
See, that's why I don't consider myself to be a full
Hate
furry.
draws us apart.
Because, yes, Edgelord is technically my first... I should shut up.
Maria. Wait.
Okay. Attracted to non-human entities just makes you a monster fucker like me. Fair enough. I can agree with that. Okay, that was some good stuff for Shadow. But now we need to build from this point. You know, actually, I will say that this game does actually make Shadow's behavior in Forces better, in my humble opinion. Since Forces he was more of a team player, he was a little more willing to show emotion, and he actually smiled a few times. So yeah, I do think it is, let's see, despite how Rouge is designed, it was clearly meant to distinguish her as an adult compared to the design of Cream and Amy. That is true, yeah. Because, like, yeah, so... Okay. Oh, this music. Oh, that's... Oh, nostalgia. Nostalgia. Major nostalgia. Oh, that's hitting me in the feels. Yeah. So, thoughts? Yeah, I actually... The regular Sonic generation stuff, I could take it or leave it. Mostly because I'm not as familiar with the Sonic franchise as a whole, that a lot of the older references kind of went over my head. But as I'm a hair more familiar with Shadow stuff, because the first Sonic game I really got into was Sonic Adventure 2, I'm a lot more passively aware of the stuff that came after Shadow was introduced. Also, yes, this was technically a Sonic Boost game. Because it was released after Frontier, it felt like it had more of the polish that I liked from Sonic Frontier. I can't say whether or not I liked the Shadow stuff better than Sonic Frontiers, because, as I said multiple times while streaming Sonic Frontiers, if I had just played that game as a kid, or if I was just playing Sonic Frontiers casually, you know, without having the pressure of being watched and being like, okay, I want to make sure I can get through the game so I can stream it, so I can actually show you guys the game, I think Sonic Frontiers would have been one of my favorite Sonic games. So, how would I rate this? Because, I mean, again, besides Sonic Adventure 2 and having a soft nostalgic spot for Sonic Heroes, I don't have that strong of an opinion on the Sonic franchise as a whole. Because I haven't really been that into it as much as my childhood told me I did. Like, my childhood told me, no, you're a big Sonic fan. You've played less. You've only played about a quarter of the games in total, loser. I'd still rate Sonic 06 as the absolute bottom of the barrel of all the Sonic games I've personally played. And by the way, when I say play, I mean beaten. I should say beaten. Because I've played a couple Sonic games, like, I've played both the storybook games and Unleashed, but I never beat either one of them. And those were so long ago, I don't really remember them well enough to have an opinion on them. I'm gonna put this one for right now in a dual second place with Frontiers when it comes to how I feel about Sonic games. Sonic as a franchise has been heavily stagnant because they kept throwing away storylines, timelines with successful games and the mechanics people like. No, I agree completely. And it's because, at least not until recently, the Sonic franchise hasn't known how to properly take in feedback, if you know what I mean. Because, like, let's go to Sonic 06 as a prime example. The game did badly, but it did badly because it controlled badly, and the game was half finished when it was released. But instead of realizing, oh shit, we released a half-cooked game, oh, it was a game that had a lot of extra characters and had a very in-depth story. So that must be why no one liked it. So all the Sonic games coming after, not counting Unleashed, because I think that game was already pretty far into development, the games were very story and character light and focused just on gameplay, which resulted in the franchise just not going anywhere. And it wasn't until after Forces, plus there was the whole comic book stuff debacle with Ken Penders that caused them to have to reboot the whole franchise with the Archie comics and then completely take the rights away from Archie to reboot again with IDW, which honestly, I think it wasn't until Ian Flynn became both the comic writer and the writer for, at least a writing consultant for the games, that the story started getting back on track. Because, yeah, I haven't really read any of the Sonic comics. I know a little bit about them. But yeah, after Forces, that is, at least, that does seem to be when the Sonic franchise got back on track. Because, like, the comics are, like, the IDW comics picked up shortly after Sonic Forces. And the comics, to my understanding, are considered to completely canon with the Sonic games that came out after Forces. I also remember there was a Terios DLC as well, like an extra skin to get, which was basically Shadow's first design, blah blah. Sonic's comics are crazy. There's a death battle going over. That's cool. Yes, so I originally planned on buying the Terios skin and using it at least once in this stream, but like I said, I kind of had some financial issues at the moment, so I couldn't afford it. But it was basically, yeah, it gave you a skin of Terios the Hedgehog, which Terios was originally Shadow. Like, for those who don't know the story, in Sonic Adventure 2, it's a plot point that people mistake Shadow for Sonic. It's because they swapped out Terios for Shadow late in the story. For those who don't know, Terios is basically just a darker blue version of Sonic with a scar over one of his eyes. So people mistaking Shadow for Sonic is a holdover from when the story had Terios in it. And just for fun, to celebrate, you know, this anniversary of Shadow, they released a DLC skin for Shadow of Terios. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, so one thing I mentioned in the last stream about how Terios is kind of silly and just kind of feels like a worse version of Scourge the Hedgehog. I'm not going to get into his full story there because I did in the last stream, but what's funny is because there's rights issues over Scourge, Ian Flynn invented the character of Surge. So for those who don't know, Scourge is a green doppelganger of Sonic. Surge is a green Teneric, which is a species that is related to hedgehogs, but isn't, who was genetically modified to be an evil counterpart to Sonic and can actually use lightning powers. So it was kind of IDW, Sega, and Ian Flynn's way of telling Ken Penders, fine, you're preventing us from using a well-beloved character. We're just going to make our own and make her better than Scourge was, since Scourge was involved in sexual assault. Fuck you, Ken Penders. Well, okay, technically Scourge wasn't. It was Evil Sonic. But since Evil Sonic is technically Scourge, it's complicated. It's very complicated, and I don't have time to... went into it in the last stream. I don't want to get into it here. Okay, so... yeah. Hey, Muffin, how long is the movie DLC stuff? Because if it's not too long, and I do have it... I could potentially just do it right now, but if I don't have it installed, like if I didn't get it, again, I don't really have the money to buy it right now. And if it's too long, I don't really have time to get into it. Okay, bonus contact. What, I think I already, movie DLC isn't super long. Okay, no, I've already watched this. Okay, how do I axe? Is this it?
50 years ago, aboard the space...
No, that's just a recap of Shadows. New game. No, that's just literally starting a new game. No, hold on. Yeah, I need to quit back to the main menu. Quit stage. Continue. Let's see. Do you know how, if I do have it, do you know how I'd access it? Yeah. Was ist das? Is this just a way to fight Black Doom again? Doom's... no, not exactly. Here, let's go back to the main menu. Let's back out. Here, PlayStation... yeah, let's just pull up the PlayStation Store. That'll tell me if I have it or not. You have it. There's a place in the... oh, so I don't have it. So I might not have... look for the big red ring from the Sonic movies. Like, on the map, or here in the... over, like, there'll be a big red ring here in the overworld. See, I don't know if I've got it. I gotta look around, I think. Look online. Yeah, I'd appreciate that, Muffin. Again, I'm definitely not opposed playing it, just because, I mean, it's got It's got Keanu Reeves in it, so I love me some Keanu Reeves. But if I don't have it, like I said, I can't really afford to buy it right now.
Observation.
There should be a portal next to the Space Colony Arc level entrance. Got it. Space Colony Arc. By the water, okay. Camera stop, please. You don't see a big round ring that looks like a portal. You might not have it. Yeah, shoot, that's a shame. Yeah, it doesn't look like I've got the DLC. Shoot. All right, unfortunately, that's probably going to be it then. Hey, if I ever do get around to getting the DLC, I will come back and do a special stream just for that one. It's just, I got a lot of expenses right now. So, yeah. So I'm afraid that is going to be it. All right, so, yeah, thank you for joining me. I actually had a lot of fun with this one. Like I said, I've got the current poll going right now, but I am going to probably close it in the next hour. I am going to, for those who haven't voted yet, I'm actually just going to quickly post it here in the chat for anyone who still needs to vote. So you guys can do that now. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I'm glad you guys could, I'm glad you guys could be here. And again, thanks for being understanding. I'm going to probably close that poll in an hour, and then I'll post the results to everywhere. And then I will start one of those, whichever game ends up winning tomorrow morning, provided I can wake up. Like, again, this has been one of the weirdest illnesses I've ever had. Because like I said, I'm perfectly fine sitting on the couch and lying in bed. But the minute that I get up and try to move around and whatever, that's when it just wipes me out. So yeah. Be starting a new game tomorrow. Then I'll be continuing Edgelord on Sunday. I don't know. I might be posting the next Edgelord poll soon, just because I don't actually know how many more streams I'm going to get out of Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. Because the game's long, but because I've been doing most of the Digimon grinding off screen, that's cut down on the time, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know. There's 18 chapters, and I'm on like chapter 12 or 13, but some chapters are longer than others, so I don't know. We'll see what happens there. And then after I do this next stream, the fan service stream, then I'll be moving on to Dragon Age Inquisition like I promised. I cannot promise I'm going to stream if Knights of Azure 2 does win. I can't promise I'm going to stream that one very long, because that game actually pisses me off. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what wins. Like I said, I'm going to probably close the poll in about an hour. But yeah, I'm not sure when, but I'll see you guys then. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.